Hi and hello, welcome to today's video. It's time for our April TBR. I still can't believe I'm saying that. Like, what do you mean we're already in April and picking out our TBR? To be fair, this month's TBR was quite easy to pick, just because I have my spring TBR and I just picked 3 of the books that are still on there. Those are romance reads, because I did finish my fantasy TBR in the last video that I posted in reading fantasies for a week. So if you haven't watched that, I will link it up here so you can watch it, and we will discuss every book we've read there. But I really enjoyed that. So we're picking up 8 books for April, and that's excluding the book club book, because we haven't picked that yet. I think when this video will be going live, we haven't still picked it out, so I can't tell you what a book club book will be, because we haven't discussed anything yet about the upcoming book. But I'm hoping it will be some sort of fantasy, because I have no fantasy on my TBR for April. I want to say that first. It's all dark romance or romance, because that's just my mood currently. So let's get into it. The first book I have, it's Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. It's book 6 in the Boys of Torment series. I got this book back in January, because I've been debating for most of last year when this came out to pick it up. If I wanted to pick it up, if I wanted to read it, yes or no. But here I am. It's 730 pages long. So this will be one of the first books I will be reading in April. I just want to say I have FOMO. So many people are talking about it. I just want to know. And if I don't like it, I don't like it. If I like it, I like it. I did read the rest of Boys and Tommen back in 2024, I want to say. I don't know when Taming 7 came out, but around Taming 7 release, I read them all. So that's, I think, back in 2024. So that's fun. But this follows Lizzie and Hug. Very excited for it. There's mention to Lizzie a lot in Taming 7 and to her story, so I am intrigued to see where her story goes. I have heard it's a lot of trauma dumping, like it's trauma porn, I want to say. So that's why I want to start April off with this book, so I have just got it out of the way. It's also a chunky book, so I don't know how long this will take me to read in April, but we shall see. Just the first book. I don't want to say too much about it, because it is the 6th book in the series, and I don't want to spoil it, but Lizzie and Hug, that's what the book is about. Maybe it will be a reading vlog, maybe it won't, I don't know. I have nothing yet planned for April. So yeah, then the next book I have is a shorter book, which is the rom-coms by Catherine Center. I have read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center back in 2024, 2023, around that realm. So this is my second book by her. We follow Emma and Charlie in this book. More I don't know about this book. I saw this back in January when I was at the works, and I just picked it up. I was like, okay, I liked The Bodyguard, I will pick this up too, because I think it was free for, I don't know what's in Dublin is. Free for 9, I think. So 3 books for €9. And I saw this and I've been intrigued by it. I saw it a couple of times here in my local bookstores, and I was like, okay, I will pick it up for €3. It's fine, you know. So Emma and Charlie. She is a screenplay writer. And Charlie is her legend. That's what I can tell. So I think it's like a romance where she's looking up to this big guy, and I don't know, there's gonna be a romance somewhere in it. I'm always pretty bad with TBRs videos. I don't go into my books blind. Okay, I don't like knowing much of the books. But thirdly, we have Say You Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. Same with Releasing 10. I've been debating on getting this since it came out last year. I think it was April that it came out. And just the same with the rom-coms. I saw this at the works and I was like, okay, I will get it, you know. If I don't like it, I don't like it, and I don't know if I will DNF, but I will read it. And I did see that The Night We Met, which is the second part to this story, is already out in my local bookstore. But this book, of the second book, isn't coming out until the 31st of March. But it is already in stores. I don't know what's going on there, but So You Remember Me goes, we follow Xavier as Samantha. And I've heard so many things about this book. I heard this book is great and I heard this book is bad. I know Rysand from Akatar is mentioned throughout the book, and that he is preferred, or, you know, she is making like differences between him and Rysand. I don't know what's going on there, but we will see. Someone I follow on Twitter has read this and was like, oh, you shouldn't read it. He did DNF at 10%, so I don't know what to think of it. But now we go on to two books that are continuations of series I'm currently in the middle of. And I'm very excited. I might actually already read them before April is here. Because, I don't know, I still have a couple of days before March ends. So I might squeeze these in before then. But it is The Annihilator by Runix. This is book 5 in the Dark Verse. And I read The Emperor and the Finisher this month, or in March, and I liked it. The Emperor was a 4 stars and the Finisher a 3.5, I want to say. But more of that in my wrap up, which is coming up next week. But The Annihilator, this is book 5, and this follows a different couple, but it is a different couple, but with the same plot as the other 4 books. But this is why I like this series a lot. It's a dark romance, but there is somewhere a plot in here, you know. Like, I read The Ritual and those whole series like in the beginning of this year and February and beginning of March, and that was mostly just smut and no plot. And this is like the opposite. This is a lot of plot and a bit of smut. It's spicy, but it's a dark romance because the themes are dark, not the smut that is dark. So if you're looking for a dark romance series that is mostly plot, I present you The Dark Verse. So far I'm really liking it. Like, I've read every book in like a single day so far. So do with that information what you will, but these are addicting, these are short, and fun to read. So book 5. Like I said, I don't want to say too much with series because I might spoil stuff, but on the back is also not a lot to say. You know, it doesn't say what the book is about. So I wouldn't know what our characters' names are. I don't know. I just know this is book 5 in Dark Verse, and I'm very excited to read it. And after that, I only have The Syndicator left, which is book 6. And that means I've finished a series, and I'm so happy. Like, I'm finally finishing a series that I started last year, because I read The Predator last year. And I was like, I'm not sure if I want to continue. And now I'm like, I am continuing. So, very excited. Very excited for it to happen. You know, I see all these things on TikTok and Bookstagram about these books. And now I'm like, oh, I get it. I get it. Okay. And the last physical book I have is Role Model by Rachel Reed. This is book 5 in the Game Changer series. And this follows Troy and Harris. I think they are mentioned in the series somewhere. And throughout the book they are mentioned. Or throughout the series they are mentioned. And I'm very excited for this. I want to say some books in this series are a hit and some are a miss. But I read the first 3 books back in February. And I read 2 books so far. 2 books? No. 1 book so far in March. Which was Come and Go. And now I have Role Model on my April TBR. And like I said, I also might read this already before April starts, because I am in the mood for this book too, to continue the series. Like I said, I want to finish some series that I'm in the middle of. And I did get yesterday I got a new book in. She's like this thick, but she is stunning. But she's book 3 in a trilogy, and I just read book 1. So, you know, I'm like itching to get there, but I first want to finish off some other series. So yeah, that's my physical TBR. I do have some arcs. I have 2 arcs and 1 book that isn't out yet, which the book that isn't out yet is Chasing the Fire by Paisley Hope, which is the 5th and final book, I want to say, in the Silver Pine series. It's a small town cowboy romance. I've read all these books so far. I read Holding the Reins as an arc. I was supposed to read it as an arc, and then I read it a year later. I'm sorry, okay? I was in the mood. I was not in the mood back then to read a romance. I don't know. I used to be a big fantasy thriller reader and not big of a romance, and then I saw that you could sign up for this arc, and I was like, okay, bet. And then they picked me for the arc. So years later, I've read them because I read Holding the Reins and Training the Heart back to back, and then I was waiting for Freeing the Wild and Riding the High, and I read those, loved them. I think the 3rd book, Riding the High, is my favorite so far because that's a single dad romance. I have something with single parents. I love the single parent trope, so that's fun. So that's on my TBR. That comes out the 4th of April, if I'm correct. I think it's the 4th of April. So beginning of April, I will be reading it. Then I have 2 arcs, which the first one is Fox, by the same author as Chasing the Fire, and this is Paisley Hope's newest book. This is the 3rd book in her dark romance series. The first one is Wolfie, the second one is Dove, and now Fox. This will be releasing the 14th of July, so I got it pretty early because I'm on our street team. And if you were on the street team, you could say, oh, I'm interested, I want to read the arc. And then she picked some people that signed up. So I have the arc and I wanted to read it. Just already, like, I know if I don't read it now, I will forget about it. And then I have a second arc, which is Embraced by Belle Cabra. This is the 4th and final book in her Of the Ice series, which the first one is Collide, the second one is Spiral, and the third one is Revolve. And I think you'll see them, but they like on top of my shelves here. I did get new bookshelves 2 weeks ago. So if you want to see a bookshelf tour, I can do that as well. I might do that. I'm in a mood to show off my bookshelves because I love them. But it is Embraced by Belle Cabra. I got it for NetGalley. I saw that you could get it on NetGalley, so I was like, okay, I want to read it as an arc because I did read Revolve as an arc too, but not through NetGalley, but through another company that does arcs. And then I was like, oh, I want to read Embrace as well. So I was like, okay, hoping to get picked out, and then they picked me. So here I am with arcs, which I'm very grateful, don't get me wrong, to read them. But I've got Embrace, I think, like 2 to 3 weeks ago, and I still haven't started it because Elle Kennedy came out with a new book. I got the new Nefesta Allen book early because a friend of mine found it early in store. And then a lot of book happens. So here I am with 8 books on my TBR. Like, this is my TBR spread for April. And there's like 1 slot left for the book club book, but normally I don't pick out this big of a TBR every month. Like, I can show you my February TBR, I think. Like, this has 5 books on there. I don't know if you can see, but 5 books. Normally I know I read more than 5 books a month. My January TBR had 4 books on it. But my March TBR also had like more books on it than before. This is also 8 books. So as you can see, I only have to read Love Song by Elle Kennedy, and I'm always almost finished. I'm like at 95% of the book, so I will be finishing that today. I'm gonna out myself. I'm finishing this on the 18th of March. This is my month so far. Yeah, just showing you off my little my book journal. That's what I was looking at, because I will forget if the books that I want to read if they're not in front of me. So that's why the notebook is here. But thank you for watching. If you liked, please leave a like and leave a comment what your favorite book or your most anticipated book is for April, so we could chit chat. And if you like the vibe, if you like the channel, please subscribe and be part of the family. And I will catch you in the next video. Goodbye.